Dre, how many coaches in America, college coaches, would you rather have than Jim Harbaugh if you could have them today?
Ooh,
That's a hard question to answer, Mark. And I'm not
not
going.
really.
I'm not going
You're
to dance
making
around
them
it.
more. You're making
Let
them
me
difficult.
give
That's
the
not a hard
answer.
question.
Let
Jim
me give the
Harbaugh
answer.
versus Ryan Day. Jim Harbaugh versus James Franklin. Go through every coach in America. It's pretty easy. Boom. Who do you want? How many coaches would you take over Harbaugh?
Okay.
All right, let's start at Nick Saban. Would you take Nick
Wait a
Saban over
second.
Harbaugh?
Just before I give the answer, I just want to explain my thought process. For one, Mark, I look at you have the top echelon of coaches, right, in the game, and then you have like the tier two, where it's like a good group of good coaches, right? Um, top tier, top three. Let's say I'll put Saban. I'll still go Dabo. You could put Lincoln Riley up there, even though Desmond would strongly disagree. You can put Ryan Day up there right now. Some people would disagree and say that he hasn't had a big enough sample size, and he's been he started on third base, whatever Harbaugh said. But I give him that due. Um,
What about Mel Tucker?
no, he's not up there yet. He's got a way to go. No, I see
Ryan
what you're
Day.
trying to do. I said Ryan Day. I put Ryan
Oh,
Day
okay.
up there.
Sorry.
But then that tier two.
Not to interrupt your process, but
Yeah.
Des brings up Mel Tucker. Now,
Yeah.
if we're ranking coaches, that's one thing to say. I would say the same thing. I want to see more out of Mel Tucker. I would rank him wherever I would rank him. But this is actually being able to select him as a coach and say, you can have Mel Tucker. You can make the trade today. You're not like ranking him to say, okay, I need to see more. You're actually, would you take Mel Tucker to be Michigan's coach tomorrow over Jim Harbaugh?
I'm going to get killed for this answer, but I'll say yes. And I have a reason why.
That's what I thought was coming.
Yeah. But because it goes to the person. I just like Mills. One thing I like his way he goes about his business. I like he seems to inject energy. I like his non-nonsense type of attitude. I just do like it. That's just the type of coach that I like. I'm not saying anybody who's listening that he is a better coach than Jim Harbaugh. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I like the way he goes about his business more. And granted, maybe a lot of people will if you just separate, like resume and all that stuff. I just like Mills' way of going about things more. Case in point, a lot of people don't like this guy's personality. You think he's a little childish or whatever. I like PJ Flex, where he goes about his business more than Jim Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about, and I like guys who have a certain energy that they inject in their programs, right? I that's the kind of head coach I want, because I think they're able to appeal. They're not just a figurehead for the program. They're able to appeal to the players and get players to want to run through a brick wall for them. And for me, for especially a Midwestern program, which Michigan is, me being a Midwesterner myself, that's just what I appeal to. It just is. I know. Go ahead.
What about PJ Fleck? Would you?
PJ.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, PJ Fleck, and I love the way he goes about his business as well.
What about Brian Kelly?
No, I don't really like Brian Kelly. No,
It can't all be off of just what you like and who you don't like.
But it's just I feel like a program's the way they go about their business on the field is a reflection of the head coach, right? And for example, when Mel Tucker and MSU, I think the main reason they were able to have success is because they just played with a sense of urgency all year. Like they know they didn't have the most talent, right? But they played with a sense of urgency. And I think about the game versus us, at Spartan Stadium. The Michigan was dominating that game, most of the game. But Mel just never took his foot off the gas pedal, going for it on fourth down, going for how many 2-point? We converted 2-2-point conversions, and we didn't necessarily have to. He just kept going for it as opposed to playing it safe, right? And I like that. I like that.
Okay.
What about Jeff Brown?
My pushback real quick on the Brian. I'm not a Brian Kelly fan to be
He was embarrassed of
to
himself
let
doing music videos and all that.
But what I would say though is his teams in Notre Dame. I mean, they did. I mean, he didn't. They weren't a dominant team year in year out, but they made the playoff twice? I think 2 or 3 times under his leadership. So I would argue, just based off of that point that you made of how his teams go about their business, I would argue that Brian Kelly fits that specific mold. So he checks that box as far as how his teams perform and operate.
Yeah, but there's a lot of whispers that Brian Kelly isn't the best person to play for, nor coach for. Now granted, I heard he's gotten better, over time, but I don't know, man.
How high is that on your list of must-haves? Guys still went to Notre Dame. I mean, Look, and he still had good coaches.
Results, right? And then that's when it goes back to the juice being worth the squeeze. If Harbaugh was dominating, then I wouldn't sweat the little small things like personality and all that. If that makes sense. If Harbaugh was delivering the way we thought he would when he first arrived there, right, in terms of being a top 3 coach in the game, right, and having those type of results, then maybe he's like he did what Dabo did, won a couple natties, definitely down, then I wouldn't care, because the results are just that great enough where I'm indifferent to it. But when you have the results we've had lately, besides this past year, and then with Harbaugh's quirkiness and his ways, yeah, it all kind of just like, it's ideally speaking, it's just not for me. But I mean, I'm not going to say get rid of the guy. You're asking me if I had a chance to put him in a trade machine for any other coach in the country. Yeah, I mean,
what about the lane train? Ed Rogers asked about the dude at Mississippi.
No, I think Lane Kiffin's very gimmicky, man. I've never really got the Lane hype. He's a solid coach. I mean, he's done a decent job at Ole Miss. But then I think about his time at Tennessee. I think about his time at coaching Oakland. It's just a lot of.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. I'll just give him a little. That I think he's learned from that. I mean, I get it. Like when you're on Nick Saban's staff, part of it, especially when you're the offensive coordinator, part of it's getting chewed out. But that has got to be a humbling experience to just get berated the way that Kiffin did when he was there. Because I think he did a phenomenal job when he was at Alabama. I think from that time forward, he's done a phenomenal job. But I do think he's learned a lot there. What'd you say?
Who hasn't done a phenomenal job at Alabama, Des? They make everybody look good.
Bill O'Brien can go today, but nonetheless, I think Lane Kiffin's done I think he did a really good job there. I think building his program at FAU and even Ole Miss, man, they did some, I mean, that 2 years ago, they were, took Alabama. I mean, they ended up losing the game by, I think, 10, but
I remember.
He had I don't know, man. What was Matt Corral before Lane Kiffin got there? I mean, he was a good quarterback, but I've seen mock drafts where he's going to be the number 1 quarterback taken off the board, not the number 1 pick, but the first quarterback off the board. That's a lot. I think he's done a pretty good job, but I mean, to each their own. I'm
real quick. Why do people get? I've noticed this too. Why do people get so defensive when a Michigan fan says something good about Mel Tucker? No one said I never said I thought Mel Tucker was a great coach or he's going to be the best coach in the Big Ten and he's the next big thing. I would say it's like his personality. I'm not petty. No, I hate Sparty. Okay, I don't want to root for Sparty. I hate the Buckeyes. Never root for them. Okay, let's make that clear. But I'm also I have eyes, and you're talking about if I like their personality more and they're like their way to go about things more. Mel Tucker or Jim Harbaugh, I like Mel Tucker more. Okay, I just say exclude the resumes of listening with the whole, what did he do at Colorado? I'm not talking about that. So I get very frustrated when I see people do that. Stop this, guys. I'm not leaving the Michigan train. I am a Michigan fan. I don't just stop it. This is not about choosing sides. I'm just saying they asked me a question and I gave them an answer. Go blue. All right, keep going. Just kidding.
I didn't have any other coaches in mind. Those were the main ones I wanted to ask about.
You're just throwing names out here. Tom Herman.
Where is Tom Herman right now?
I don't even know. I think he's enjoying counting his money. Not
Good
coaching
question.
anywhere.
Is he not OC of anywhere?
I think he's honestly just counting his money.
He's out there.
I thought he was on a staff, but he might not be. Michael Hogg put, Rob, speaking of Joe Brady, why hasn't he been hired yet? He got the OC position in the NFL somewhere. Can't remember what team. The Giants, maybe? No, that's not right. Joe Brady got hired somewhere.
Tom Herman was an offensive analyst with the Bears this last year.
Offensive analyst.
Wow.
That mess with Matt Nagy? No.
Well, I mean, you talk about failing up. I mean, you went, oof, that's interesting. I'll just leave it at that.
That's not a good look.